Hey Legends, Ryan King here from Announcer Group. Thought I'd touch base. Budget last night, super boring stuff. You probably didn't watch it. I loved it, even though it was still pretty boring. Stayed up last night in the office making notes for today, producing our full report on the federal budget 18-19, which you can have access to if you want. Just let me know. Thought I'd make it a little bit less boring, give you a real brief summary on the things you might want to know. If you want to read further, please go for gold inside the report. So main things on the budget, it was pretty boring, it was pretty political. It's politics, what do you expect? But there were some good things to come out of it. So the main things you need to know is the government is planning to reduce taxation rates, okay, which is awesome. This is probably one of the best things that came out of the budget. Long story short, they want to abolish the 37% tax rate, which is currently from $87,000 to $180,000 is the 37%. They want to abolish that, increase the 32.5% rate all the way up to, well, it's going to be 90,000 this year, 120,000 in a couple of years, then by 2024 up to 200,000. Okay, so we'll go tax-free threshold 19%, 32.5%, and then up to 45%. So that majority of where the people, I think it's 96% of Australians sit in the income tax threshold will be lower tax, which is awesome. We also had the lower middle income tax offset, which is up to $200 for some families, $530 for people who earn up to $90,000 a year. For a household in that area, for an average household, that's $1,060 a year. Doesn't sound like much, but that's a couple of tanks of fuel, that's a couple of part of your insurance premiums, part of your rate, something like that, which is better in your pocket than the government's. Superannuation changes, nothing really to report there. We had exit fees removed, which is awesome. You should be able to choose what super you want without being penalised. We had some insurance stuff, so under 25 years old, around a $6,000 benefit in your super fund. You have to opt in for insurance. That's really important to focus on because if you have health concerns, you may be missing out there. So that's something to stay on top of and get in touch around that. Self-managed super funds, awesome news there. Up to 6 people, that can be bad, but in general context, that's not bad. 6 people in a super fund up from 4, so you can increase relatives, get family in. If a self-managed super fund is right for you, then it could be a good thing. So it's something to chat about as well. We had some pensioner stuff, okay, so some good retirement things happening. The work test, there's a work test bonus, so after your retirement age between 65 and 74, 12 months without having to meet the work test to keep to be able to still contribute to superannuation, which is really, really good. On top of the downsizing rule of 300,000, there's a really big benefit that we can try and get in super there for tax-free income, which is weapon. On top of that, there was some infrastructure spending. There wasn't much defence spending this year. A lot to do with the aged care, so they're increasing the aged care opportunities there, which is great. But other than that, some little ones that you also might want to flag. Anyone who owns land and there's no construction cannot be deducted for investment purposes year in, year out, okay? So that needs to be put as a cost base when you sell it, or you need to get some construction occurring. This is to stop land banking, so make sure you're all over that. Also, we have the testamentary trust changes, so if you got your estate planning or testamentary trust stuff, I don't think there's much going to change there, but just keep an eye out for that one. Another good one is the small, medium enterprise businesses, small business under $10 million in revenue. You can keep your $20,000 immediate write-offable assets purchase per year for another year. They can extend that till 1st of July 2019, so that's cool. Some other stuff around lending, there's a good one for retirees, so pensioners, if you use through your assets and you need some more, there's basically a government fund reverse mortgage that is accessible now. They've actually increased some provisions around that, which is pretty cool too. Anything else you want to know about the budget? That's pretty much it. Tax cuts are the big one, which look really good. Apart from that, there shouldn't be much that impacts you in the near future. If you want to have a chat, want to know about anything, let me know, and we'll go through that and go in a bit detail. I'll send a link. I'll put a link up for the full report. Please feel free to read it and get in touch if you've got any questions. All right, cheers.